Hi guys, and welcome back to the Ultimate Decades Challenge. Last episode, Baudwin and Molly were officially married. I didn't get the footage, but here is some nice screenshots of what happened that night. Phineas was drunk during the ceremony, and he was dealing with the death of Philip the only way that he knew how, but he didn't take away from Molly and Baudwin's moment. Baudwin was happy to finally be married to Molly, and on their wedding night, he started a beautiful portrait of her. Molly was happy to finally be a part of a family again after losing her family during the famine, and she seemed to be meshing well with both Gilbert and Izzy. The family would celebrate All Souls Day and remember the Sims that they've lost throughout the years since we've started this challenge at the very beginning. Can you guys believe that it's already been 2 decades? I can't, but nevertheless, days seem to be too much for Phineas though, as he would pass away unexpectedly at the end of the episode that I'm saying was from a broken heart. And Baudwin had to put on a brave face in front of the others and in front of Molly, because he is now officially the heir, and that means that he is going to be responsible for all of the Sims of his family now. And him and Molly did get pregnant at the end of the episode, and they are expecting a baby this episode, so he really needs to be the responsible person now, as he is the heir and is responsible for everybody else. But he, like I said, he put on a brave face and mourned his father privately, because even though him and his father had a difficult relationship, he still truly did love his father. So that was what happened in last episode. This episode, we are in 1323, and the family is still pretty sad about the passing of Phineas, as you can see here. But Molly is going to get up and sweep, tidy up a bit. She is now, like I said, expecting, as you guys can tell from her little baby bump. And she is also going to go ahead and make some breakfast for everybody, as she just got done sweeping all the dust off of the floor. So let's see what she's going to make. We're going to make some pottage today. Change it up a bit from the gruel. It's not that too far away from the gruel, but it is probably a step up. And poor Pepper here, he's gonna bark at Molly asking for some food. So we're going to have Izzy come down here and fill up Pepper's bowl, as well as come over here and get that puddle up, because Molly is too busy making breakfast. And look at her. I really love Molly. She's so beautiful, and I've been taking like thousands of screenshots of her in the game, because she's like really pretty sim. Okay, Izzy finally filled up Pepper's bowl, and I'm going to have her play with him a little bit, because he's still like feeling kind of unwell. He is getting up there in age, you guys. I don't know how long we'll be playing with Pepper. Okay, so Molly has finished breakfast, and she's gonna call everybody to the meal. Get everybody down here so they can eat as a family, as one. And I had to look at this pottage. It definitely looks better than the gruel. I think I might make this more often, and I think the Sims liked it as well. But I started to notice that Molly was kind of feeling unwell at this point. I didn't know why. She kept on getting up from the table, and then she was like, okay, if you want to stand and eat your breakfast, that's okay. But then she started to like touch on her stomach, like she was going through labor, and that couldn't be, because she's still in her early trimesters. And I looked at her buffs, and guys, my heart sank. She was having a miscarriage, and at first I was trying to ignore it, or I'm going to say that, you know, Molly was didn't understand what was happening at the moment, and she started to go get herself a cup of water, but she couldn't make it to the sink, and she notified Baudwin that something was wrong. She thinks something was wrong with the baby, which got Baudwin alerted. So he got up and he was like, okay, well, we're gonna go to the clinic, and yeah, and he told Gilbert to watch over Izzy. So she's going to go. She's extremely terrified. She saw Phineas' death as a bad omen the last episode, and she's terrified of childbirth, because if you guys watched the story of Molly, her mother died during childbirth. So Molly wants to be a mom. She just is terrified of, you know, actually giving birth. And these guys, or I should say Izzy, was pretty sad because she really likes Molly, and she was scared that something would happen to Molly. So I had Gilbert come up here and try to comfort her and try to tell her that everything's going to be okay. Molly is fine, and maybe the baby will be fine too. She shouldn't be crying. So he's gonna hug her, and this was sweet. We don't get a lot of Gilbert and Izzy interactions, and you know, Gilbert is truly like a brother to Izzy, more than Baudwin to her, because Baudwin is more like Izzy's father. But he's just telling her, you know, Molly's gonna be okay. Nothing's gonna happen to Molly. Her and Baudwin are gonna come back safe. And she's like, okay, I'm going to try to believe that, because I don't think she wholeheartedly believes it, because Molly was pretty in pain. But she tried to push her feelings aside and, you know, play with Pepper a bit to ease her mind and get her mind off of things. And she really loves this dog, you guys. I love this dog too. He stinks though, so somebody's gonna have to give him a bath. It's definitely gonna be Gilbert. But Gilbert knew that since Molly was gone, he was going to have to do her chores, so he started to do that. But I'm going to say that it's been like a couple of weeks at this point, and Molly did miscarriage, you guys. She lost the baby. I did not know what the baby was. I did not know if the baby was a girl or boy. I kind of wish I checked beforehand, but she was pretty sad. I was trying to get her to go upstairs and lay down, but it didn't seem like she wanted to do that. Again, I'm seeing that this is like maybe a couple weeks after the fact. Maybe she stayed at the clinic for a while after going through the miscarriage. And I think at this point she was sad, but she kind of wanted to get her mind off of things and work on the farm. But I had Gilbert doing her chores for him, because I think he wanted Molly to take things easy. Now we're here at the tavern, and as you guys can see, Annice is playing her lute. She has to do this for money since Philip has died, and they don't have a everyday income anymore. So this is her at the tavern playing in front of everybody, and I love this. She did get quite a few simoleons from doing this today. A lot of people were tipping her. I think she got like 200 simoleons, but it's still not enough to take care of her entire family. She has she has a lot of kids, you guys. But here is somebody I want you guys to meet. So this is Hector Ravenclaw or Ravenshaw. I forget his name. And he is an old friend of Annice. And he is also one of the Sims that was trying to court her when she was coming of age before she met Philip. And he had a wife that died during the famine, and he's been alone ever since. And Annice at this point is pretty desperate. She knows that they're both like widows, and that if they got together and married, that she would have a steady income again, because Hector works at the blacksmith shop, and he has a job. So she is trying to tell him that maybe we should get married just for convenience. And I think Hector is going to like agree to this. Definitely, I think he always had feelings for Annice, and even though Annice does not have feelings for this dude, she has no feelings for this man whatsoever. He is just happy that he is going to once again or finally have the opportunity to be with Annice. And Annice is like it's going to have to be like, take a little second because I have to notify my children. And he's like, yeah, you do that. But he I'm trying to get my thoughts together. He is just like, he's agreeing to that, but Annice is worried about her children, more so Delia. She's scared of how Delia will react to this, and I don't think Delia is gonna like this at all. But it has been a couple years since Philip has died, and they have been barely getting by. So I guess Hector is telling her that he would love to marry her, and he would like to do it within the next 6 months or so. And Annice is kind of hesitant about, because that might be too soon for her, especially since she has to notify her kids. But I think she doesn't have a choice at this point. So Izzy is up. It is the next day, and I got this this notification that Izzy is going through a phase, you guys, and she is going to be clinging onto the person that she is closest to, which surprisingly is actually Baudwin. So she's going to be up under Baudwin. I think she's still kind of dealing with the death of her dad, and now she has to cling on to the next best thing, the next thing to a parent that she has, and that is Baudwin. So that is going to be very interesting, seeing her follow Baudwin around. I don't think Baudwin is going to be like receptive to that, because you know how Baudwin can get, you guys. But she's washing the sink, but it needs to be repaired, so we'll get Gilbert to do that. Molly was going, I wouldn't say going through it, but she was acting kind of strange. She, instead of like setting the table and calling everybody to the meal, she decided to eat outside alone, but Baudwin was not going to let her do that. So he came out here and he was going to eat with her. They ate in silence because, she's still pretty upset about losing the baby, and she kind of blames herself. She feels like, something like in her life is not going right. Like, she lost her brother and her sister during the famine. Now she loses her baby, and it's just very sad. But I think she shouldn't take it, like, be so hard on herself, because she really is hard on herself. And yeah, so she just was trying to work through her pain, and she came over here, and I think she harvested this. It was harvest day, and here we go, you guys. Like I said earlier, Pepper is getting up there in age, and he has officially aged into an elder. So once again, I don't know how long we'll be seeing Pepper in these episodes, but since Molly was acting really strange, I went ahead and did this new game interaction that you can do with growing together, and I invited Margaret and Danielle over, because those are Sims that Molly is very close to, and I think they were worried about Molly. I think Baudwin went to the inn and he told them about the situation, and Margaret was telling Danielle we have to go over there and help Molly. So they're here. They're going to be here for the next 2 nights watching over Molly, because Baudwin is very worried about her, and she's not really speaking to him. So he thought that maybe she would speak to them. So I had her sit down, and Margaret is like a mom to her, and she was like, so tell me what's going on, Molly. And she was like, well, about my past, about my family, and I just don't know if I'm what am I trying to say? I just don't know if I'm able, like, if I'm supposed to be happy in this world. And Margaret is like, that is nonsense. What are you talking about? And she was like, death just follows me. I marry into this family and immediately the father dies. How is that not a sign that I have, I don't know what is, like, what would they say back then? Like, she feels like it was a bad omen. But Margaret was telling her it's not. There's nothing wrong with her, and that babies die, and that this is normal in this time period, which is true. It is very normal that babies die. And Molly was like, maybe Margaret's right. Maybe I'm overreacting. And she was still upset. This is another sim. This was another sim that was a part of the batch choosing. I think she also, that stayed in with Molly, I think she also heard about the miscarriage, and she came to visit Molly earlier. I thought that was kind of sweet. But Molly was up in spirit, so her and Baudwin tried for a baby again. And she took Margaret's advice and decided to stop being hard on herself and try it again, because she does want to be a mother. So hopefully she does get pregnant again. And Danielle and Gilbert seem to be like getting along well. I think that is she didn't have really anything to do. The thing I hate about that interactions, though, I can't control the Sims when I used to control any sim mod. I wanted them to like cook and clean and stuff, but I wasn't able to control them. I might have to just like invite them over and just add them to the family or something next time. So Gilbert was continuing to do his chores, and we got a cow. I forgot to tell you guys, we did get a cow. It is an elder cow, but it is a cow nonetheless. This cow is probably going to pass away soon, but it is all that we can afford. I want to be able to make some dairy products. I want Molly to be able to start cooking ingredients so that we can use that to make more stuff. And here she is the next morning trying to sell stuff. I think she's taking this over from Gilbert, because she's like, Gilbert does entirely too much around here. I mean, look at this guy go. I had to move Izzy because she was bothering him, nagging him, and he was just trying to get this what is this called, this grass that came with the horse ranch patch. He was trying to just collect it so he can sell that. So I had Izzy come over here and hug Pudding and play with Pudding for a while so she can get out of her brother's hair. And yeah, he was pretty happy about that. He can work. And here goes Danielle again. Both Danielle and Margaret gravitated towards Gilbert for some reason. And Gilbert, I wouldn't say he's a shy sim. He's just kind of like a loner. He works. He doesn't talk too much. He speaks when he wants to speak or when he has something to say. And I guess Molly needed to take a nap. She woke up pretty early that day. And Izzy is going to clean up yesterday's dishes. Since nobody wants to give her any attention, she might as well clean. She is again a squeamish sim, and she does not like dirty surroundings. And I thought that this would be a good time to wake Molly back up so she can start cooking. And Margaret was, like I said, they were gravitating towards Gilbert. Margaret was in the field over there flirting with Gilbert, and she's married. I thought that was so funny. And my sheep kept on moving out of the fenced area, even though I thought I was locking the gate. I don't know why they kept going out. I kept having to going and physically putting them back in place. I also decided, since we had the money, to go ahead and fix up Baudwin's art studio a little bit. This is going to be a home business, and what I'm thinking is, this might be complicated and I may be overthinking this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set for sale his regular paintings, and when a sim comes in, the first sim that buys something, Baudwin is going to do a portrait for them. So that is going to be like the transaction. That's going to be like the money they give him to do a portrait. And we're only going to do one sim. It's only going to be the first sim, because I want the Baudwin to paint the sim while they're there, and back then that's what they would have done. They would have did it in one sitting, so it only makes sense for him to do one sim a day. And this was surprising for me. Hector decided to show up. I don't know for sure they don't know each other, so this is the first time that Baudwin is meeting Hector. He doesn't know about Hector. He doesn't know that Hector and Annice are planning to get married soon. So Baudwin was in a kind of funky mood. He'd never seen this guy before. He just automatically decided that he did not like him. And even though I went to go give, say, a friendly introduction, I guess Hector rubbed him the wrong way, and he was kind of rude to Hector. As you can see, he was very enraged. But Annice came here. This was not planned, you guys. Annice showed up, and she was like, she was trying to tell Baudwin to calm down, and I guess they were here to get a portrait together. So for their wedding, I guess that's what they're gonna do before they even got married. So this is what the pose I came up with, and this is what Baudwin is gonna paint. I guess Annice had to quickly explain to Baudwin her situation, and even though Baudwin is kind of like not wanting to see Annice with anybody that's not his uncle, he understands her situation, so he just went ahead and painted her. Plus, if he couldn't refuse, because Annice probably would have chopped him off, so that's another thing. So he painted them, and while they stood there for a few hours, and this is definitely, I like that I came up with this. I think Baudwin is in his element right now. This is exactly what he loves to do. He has his portrait of Molly, so he can in here, so he could always have the love of his life like near him, I guess. So they did that, and I think what I'm going to do now is get Molly to come down here and cook a meal. She was very flirty at this point. I think she is in better spirits. So at this point, it would have been like some months since she had the miscarriage, and I think she would have been in the mood to start trying again with Baudwin. And I think Baudwin wants to try again too. I think he really does wants to be a dad. I think what Baudwin wants to do is try to, I don't know, like, the word revenge is coming up, but that's not the right word. I think he wants to be a better dad than his dad was. I mean, not to say Phineas was a terrible dad. At the beginning he wasn't, but at the end he kind of just went off the deep end, and I think Baudwin wants to kind of correct that in a way by being good to his children, his future kids. So that is Baudwin's mission. And I guess Izzy and Gilbert are up here talking. She was probably bothering him, and she was like, he was like, Izzy, come on, I have to work. Go find something else to do. So we're gonna have to get Izzy something to do. So I had her come here, and I was looking at the friendship bracelets because it was new to me, but I was thinking that maybe it's finally time to get Izzy to start cross stitching. Since we now have a sheep, we have wool, so I just took the wool that was in Molly's inventory and I gave it to Izzy. We only have white wool now, so she can only make things with that require white wool. So that is, I had her come in here and sit, and she's actually not cross stitch. She's going to knit. So I had her start knitting. So that is what Izzy is going to do. And I think she liked this. I think she really likes this. It gave her something to do. She wasn't bothering her brother anymore, and she was just off to herself. She did that in one sitting, I think. So okay, so I guess Molly had to use the restroom or the chamber pot. I keep saying restroom and you say chamber pot. And Pepper is bothering Baudwin about something. Maybe he needs some attention. And here she goes. I think, okay, so where is he going? I guess Baudwin is going to go to bed. Yeah, so Baudwin's going to go to bed. Or no, this is what he's doing. He's about to put Izzy to bed. I forgot I had him do this, which is really cute, you know, since she is technically being clingy towards him. He's going to have to put her to bed. So that's what happens. Such a lovely moment. I love that interaction. So he put her to bed, and now he's going to go to bed himself. And they got an adoring sentiment, so that was cool. So Molly woke up in the middle of the night. She peed on herself, so I had her go down to take a bath. And at this point, I don't think she was pregnant. I don't. Oh no, I'm wrong. She was pregnant. So it was kind of a bitter beginning. At the beginning, she lost her baby, but she got pregnant again. So they now have a second opportunity of being parents, which is good, because I really want them to have a baby before Baudwin has to age up into a young adult, because that he could possibly die. And hopefully this baby is a boy, and they can have a third generation heir. If not, then if Baudwin dies, knock on wood he doesn't, then the heirship will go to Gilbert, and we'll have to really worry about getting an heir then, because if anything happens to Gilbert, then it has to go to the other family. It will probably go to, I think, Rowan, or I think Rowan was born before Bartholomew, so it will go to Rowan, and then it will go to Bartholomew. Hopefully it doesn't have to come to that. Hopefully this is a boy that Molly is carrying, and if not, then hopefully Baudwin doesn't die and they can try again. I would hate for that to happen to Molly, though. You know what I would hate? Oh, I can't believe I even thought about this. I would hate if Molly ended up dying in childbirth like her mother. That would pain my heart. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but Molly started a fire, you guys, and Gilbert had to come in, put it out, and Molly was thinking of her baby, and she was like, I cannot be here. And this was another bad sign for her. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything right. What is wrong with me? So she was like really, really bad, feeling bad about that. This was another sign, a bad omen, like the death of Phineas. And I saw that the Sims were sad, and I went into their relationship panel, and I saw that Saoirse has died, you guys. Saoirse has died. Remember Saoirse, like all the Sims, all the townies that I had at the beginning of this challenge, along with Phineas and Philippa, they have now passed away. That is so sad. Okay, but we're that's why I need to plop down some new Sims in this save file, so that my Sims can have new people to interact with other than themselves. But I did not have Molly make another or try to use the oven again. She was really hungry. So I just had her come over here and cook some fish, and come inside and keep Isola company, and she was talking to her, and she was like, and Izzy is kind of concerned about Molly, and she was like, "Are you okay, Molly?" And Molly is trying to assure her that she's fine and not to worry about her, and that everything is going to be fine, even though Molly doesn't fully believe herself, because she believes in signs, and that wasn't a good sign for her. So hopefully nothing, no more miscarriages for this lady. Hopefully she's just overreacting. Okay, so I'm gonna have her sweep a little bit since the floor just got dirty. We need to tell, and also get her to sweep that trash on the floor there. The food is still cooking, so I think I'm just going to have, when it gets done, I think I'm going to have Gilbert get it. There he goes. He's sad about the death of Shersha. I didn't even know that this children were even close to Shersha like that. And I remember her coming to visit a lot, but I did not know that they had relationships with all the children. So yeah, that's really sad. Hate to hear about that. And Baudwin was working on his pottery. Again, we're going to stock up so we can go to the market. Gilbert is going to be the one going to the market, and I think we're going to go to Margaret's on Mondays and call it Market Monday. Might add it to the calendar if I don't have a gear, make it an event or something. And Izzy and everybody else is going to come here and eat. Where is Molly? Molly is still sweeping, but once she gets done with that, she's gonna join the family. If they don't get finished before she stops sweeping, then she'll probably just eat alone. It's okay. I end up canceling that interaction. Just have her go ahead and come over here and eat with them, because she is pretty pregnant, but also pretty hungry. And I want to take care of her needs so that nothing goes wrong with this pregnancy. So there she goes. She's gonna go down there and eat, and Gilbert is going to see, they finished eating before her. What? Baudwin, go use the chamber pot. Come here and use the chamber pot. Okay, and I got a notification that our cow is going to die soon. I was expecting that, since it was an elder cow that we bought. Guess we're gonna have to just buy elder cows until we can buy a young cow. We don't have the money, but I think Baudwin's art studio is going to come in handy with us for the future. I'm thinking about doing that maybe every other day, and we can only do it like once a day. So, and that also depends on if we even have anybody come here and buy anything, because he could have bad days there. So he's using the chamber pot, and we're going to the pregnant lady is thinking about her baby. She's very worried. She's very scared. I think Molly needs to go visit Margaret and talk to her again. She needs somebody. She needs a mother figure in her life. She really misses her mother, and she is just going to I'll probably do that next episode. Have her talk to Margaret, because she needs some assurance. She is scared out of her mind. She doesn't want to lose her baby again, and she is afraid of childbirth. So I think I had her start making some ingredients, like maybe some butter and flour and stuff, so that we can stock our shelves with it, and she can have things to cook. I saw in Cosmic Hippie's challenge, her Ultimate Decades challenge, that she had like a area underground for like food, where she stores her food, and I think I'm gonna do that too. I just don't know where I would put it though. Maybe in an area where I have the shelves, I'll make something underground and have like a food storage area for them, because I really like how she set that up. So I'll do that in the future. But for now, we're just gonna have just stock these shells that we have now, and I'm going to, I think she made a cheese wheel. Yeah, so I think she can make some bread now. That wasn't a cheese wheel, that was either butter or a cheese wheel. Okay, and maybe it wasn't a good idea. I wasn't really thinking about it at this point, but maybe it wasn't really a good idea to have the pregnant lady continue to cook after she literally started a fire. But remember when Philippa was doing that in the early episodes? Like, she was always starting fires, and it turned out right. So we're just gonna have Molly just work here, because, you know, we still need to eat here. And I don't think they want to continue to eat gruel all the time. And Izzy started to a knitting interaction there. And I had Baudwin come out here and sell the stuff in the garden. This is something that he typically wouldn't do, but since Molly was busy and Gilbert is always busy, he was the second best thing, because Izzy doesn't have the mental skill to do this yet. And I don't think Izzy really wants to. You know, again, she is a squeamish sim. She doesn't like dirty things. So I don't think Izzy would be out there in the dirt, which is weird because she likes being in the dirt with the animals. So that's kind of weird. But, you know, people are complex, and so can sims. And now we're in the next household, because guess what, you guys, Helewise has to age up, and I am so happy. I want to see what she looks like, and hopefully she can beat her roll. So we're gonna roll for Helewise. She can't roll a 7, and she rolled a 3, so we're good. Now if this was the famine, that would have been really bad, but it's not the famine. We're past the famine, and Helewise gets to age up, so let's get rid of that. And we're going to go ahead and age Helewise into a teenager. So come on, Helewise. I kind of like feel sad because, you know, Helewise was a triplet, guys. It doesn't seem like it anymore, but she was, and both her sisters died. But this was interesting. I love it when the game does this. Helewise got the neat trait, you guys. So all that cleaning up after her siblings and taking on Delia's chores over the years has made her a neat sim. So Annice has been working, whatever Annice is doing to Helewise has been working on Helewise. And this is what Helewise looks like, you guys. She looks absolutely beautiful. My jaw like dropped when I saw this sim. I love what I did with her. She has some beautiful girls. I can't wait to see what Vivian looks like when she ages up now. But look at her. Who do you guys think she looks like? Like when Delia aged up, I looked at some old pictures of Annice. I was like, yeah, Delia looks like Annice, but I'm not sure, because I want to say Helewise looks like Annice as well, but I think Delia looks more like Annice than Helewise. But Helewise is really pretty. She's really pretty, and I think she's going to be a hit with the guys around the village. I think Delia is too, but you know, Delia isn't thinking about boys right now. And she is barely even seen around the village because she's always in the woods. And I think people are starting to talk about Delia and her weird ways, and that might hinder her chances of being like betrothed to. But I don't think Delia really cares. See, as she is seen here walking off the lot and going to the shop. So Delia comes here to buy things from this place, and she's been coming here for a while. And this lady, the merchant's wife, always seemed to be look familiar to her, and it just clicked and dawned on her that this lady was one of the Mayday girls at the Mayday festival that her and Claire went to when they were younger. And she's been scared to even ask her about, you know, the Mayday thing, because she doesn't know how the lady would react. But since Barbetta won't tell her more about them, Delia is going to come here and just introduce herself to the lady. She's mustered up the courage to do this, and she's going to do a friendly interaction and, just confirm her suspicions. So here goes Delia. And this lady is kind of shocked that somebody has recognized her, because it's been a while since, she's actually been with the Mayday girls, and they're not really called the Mayday girls. That's just what Delia calls them. And Delia is excited because her suspicions are confirmed, but this lady is trying to tell Delia to, like, maybe this is not something that you want to talk about here. And Delia is curious, like, why? I think you're like very cool and awesome. I want to know more about you. And I forgot what her name is, but she's trying to tell Delia that she can't talk about this here because her husband doesn't know about her past. She, as a woman frolicking in the woods, and she's been out of that life for some time period now, and she has a family now. She has a daughter, and she has a business, and she really left that life because she decided that that's something that she didn't want to be anymore, and she wanted to be a normal person, because she fell in love, and this is her life now. And Delia is just like, well, wouldn't you be able to tell me like more about your past and who you are, and where do you guys come from, like where do you reside? And she was like, Delia was really relentless. She wasn't taking over and answering. You know what? At this point, this lady just felt defeated, and she really wanted to just like dead the conversation because she didn't want her husband to overhear them. And she was like, "I'll show you, or tell you later. Just come by next time." So we'll get into that later. But when Delia came home, she was met to this strange-looking man in her home. And her mom said that she wanted to talk to her and tell her things. And Helewise was there too. She has her 2 eldest children there because her other children are probably too young for this conversation. And she was trying to tell or announce to these guys that her and Hector were getting married and were going to be married soon. And Hector would be coming to live with them. And at this news, Delia was absolutely furious. Like, she felt like her mother was trying to replace Philip, and that is not the case. Annice is just here. She's thinking of her children, especially her younger children, and she wants to put food in their mouths because they don't grow a lot of food over here because it's kind of a beach area, and food doesn't grow a lot in this area, so they have to purchase food. And Annice is trying to reason with Delia, but there's no reasoning with Delia because Delia is very headstrong, and Helewise is just sitting here listening to her mother and sister go back and forth, as well as Hector. He doesn't want to really, he has his thoughts, but he doesn't want to get it between Annice and her daughter before they are wedded. So Delia was mad. She was peeved off, so she stormed outside, and Helewise decided to follow her. And guys, Helewise decided that she's gonna give Delia a piece of her mind, and she was like, all my life you have been so ungrateful to and so terrible to mom. And Delia is taken back by this because Helewise used to really look up to Delia, and Delia used to take up for Helewise when she was younger, and her mother used to be really hard on her about not listening to her even when she was trying her best. And Helewise is trying to tell Delia that their mom means well. Their mom does not have any feelings for this Hector, and that they are struggling, but Delia wouldn't know that because she's never there. Helewise has been doing all of Delia's responsibilities from such a young age, and she's sick of Delia thinking that the world revolves around her. And Delia is kind of hurt by this, and Now they have a difficult relationship. Helewise no longer looks up to Delia. Helewise actually doesn't want anything to do with Delia at this moment. And I think Delia is very hurt by this because, she loves her family. She loves her mom. She just, she doesn't feel like she really belongs here. And yeah, so I think, but Helewise got the upper hand in this conversation because after Helewise told Delia how she really felt about her, Delia is shocked and again hurt. And the last thing she wants to be is I don't know, like a hindrance towards her sister. She never felt like she was being a hindrance towards Helewise, but now she realizes that has been the case. So yeah, that was this episode, you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of the Helewells and the drama going on with them. How do you guys feel about Helewise? I think she is absolutely gorgeous. She is coming into her own, as we can see. She's started to become more vocal, especially with putting her down her foot. I think she's realized what Annice has been doing with her all these years, and that is trying to raise her to be a honest lady, a respectable lady, and be able to be seen as good to be wedded to with any of the boys in the village. And Baudwin and Molly, I'm really worried about Molly, guys. I think she's very scared and frightened about being a mother because the thing with her is that she blames herself for the death of her brother and sister, because when her father died, she became responsible for them and she was not able to take care of them. And I think she's worried about that with her younger siblings. Not with her younger siblings, with her child. She wants to redeem herself and be able to take care of her child and make sure her children are able to survive. So that's her biggest fear, along with actually giving birth, because her mother died during childbirth. Also, Baudwin got his art studio set up. That is fun. I can't wait to play with that more. If you guys have any more ideas of how I can work with that would be greatly appreciated. But I think that is all I have to say for this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.